So we've been talking for a little bit about a Model S and X refresh, and that Tesla was hopefully going to be bringing that out soon. It's something that has been rumored for years now, and there keeps being these clues that pop up here and there of one tiny thing that they might change, and in my last video I speculated a bunch of different changes that could come to the Model S. We talked about possible exterior changes, possible interior changes, and more, but Tesla really blew this all out of the water. They just announced their new Model S and Model X, and they're very, very cool. The Model S was first announced in 2012, and Tesla did a slight change to the front of it in 2016. But other than that, there have been tiny tweaks here and there, nothing really incredibly notable that you would definitely notice by seeing the car. But here is the new version of the Model S. What you'll notice is that on the outside, it's largely the same car, but it has the matte black trim, which definitely stands out. Same situation with the new Model X. Overall on the outside, it looks generally the same, but if you look, you see that matte black trim, as well as a couple other tiny little tweaks. The biggest change you'll notice in the Model S is the interior. We were expecting them to go to a horizontal display, and we had some renders from Electrek that we've had for over 2 years now, and this is what they went with. This is honestly drastically different than what I expected, especially with the steering wheel. So first we can see this steering wheel, which is way different than what I would have expected them to do, and it seems like it has similar scroll wheels to what the Model 3 and the Model Y have. The new Model S and Model X has 3 displays. It says, quote, with 2200 by 1300 resolution, ultra bright colors with exceptional responsiveness and left-right tilt, the new center display is an ideal touchscreen for entertainment and gaming anywhere. A second display in front of the driver shows critical driving information, and a third display provides entertainment and controls for rear passengers. Yeah, they added a rear display for rear passengers, and this is what that rear display looks like. It says, quote, up to 10 teraflops of processing power enables in-car gaming on par with today's newest consoles via Tesla Arcade. Wireless controller compatibility allows gaming from any seat. Right away, this feels much more premium than the previous Model S and Model X. Your passengers in the rear can literally be playing games built into your Tesla from a wireless controller in the back while the car is being driven up front. I cannot wait to see this. I'm super excited to see what this is like. Overall, the only concern I have is that the display is maybe a little low, so you're constantly looking down as opposed to looking up. And a lot of cars have displays in the rear that are up high, but this still looks to be very awesome. The next thing it talks about is tri-zone climate controls. Airflows and temperature are controlled entirely through the displays without any physical vents. On hot days, cabin overheat protection ensures interiors always stay cool. In cold weather, preconditioning automatically warms the cabin and prepares the battery for maximum range. So they're going with more of the Model 3 and Model Y style events here, where you're controlling them on the screen. It's a very cool design. Sometimes it's a little frustrating that you can't just reach up and change event, but I think that feels very premium, and it definitely makes sense to put into the Model S and X now. And then here's the big one, yoke steering. It says the ultimate focus on driving. No stocks, no shifting. With a stockless steering yoke, you can enjoy both the best car to drive and the best car to be driven in. I mean, just look at this design. That is not at all what I expected, and it's definitely putting this car more in line with the Plaid version, where they're going to be pushing this car as more of a sports car as opposed to just a luxury electric car. It now says it has a 22 speaker audio system, which might not sound much different than what it has had before. That is more speakers, but they have added one big feature that we've talked about before, which is noise canceling. It says that the audio system offers the best listening experience at home or on the road, and new microphones enable active noise canceling. So we talked about Bose having this technology in the past and how Tesla's partner with their audio systems was working with Bose, and at this point we're not sure if that is the exact integration that is happening, but that technology is being integrated. So the road noise is going to be noise canceling inside the car cabin, another incredibly premium feature that definitely belongs on a car priced this high. And the full glass roof is now officially the option on the Model S, so that is much in line with the Model Y, which has an all glass roof without any beam down the middle. I mean, just look at that white interior from this overhead view. What an awesome looking premium interior. I think this is a really great refresh. I'm sure everyone's going to have their opinions on this, of course, and some people are going to hate that steering wheel, are going to miss the vertical display, are going to think the rear stuff is pointless, but overall, I mean, this looks really cool, and this is definitely what Tesla has needed to do in the Model S and X. Also, that horizontal display is in fact 17 inches, so it's much like the Cybertruck display, which is 17 inches. The Model 3 and the Model Y have a 15-inch display, so this is going to feel a little bigger and have a little more room, and you're going to have a ton of room on there as well because you're going to have your instrument cluster right in front of you. So Tesla has now changed the configuration on the Model S as well. It starts at $79,990 like normal for the long-range version, but the Plaid version by itself comes in at $119,990. That gets a top speed of 200 miles per hour, a 1.99 second 0 to 60, just under 2 seconds, and a top range of 390 miles. So essentially, it's a better version of the previous performance version, but now they are selling the Plaid Plus version, and this is what they were announcing at their battery day. The Plaid Plus version gets a range of over 520 miles, a top speed of 200 miles per hour, and a less than 1.99 second 0 to 60. So it's even faster than the Plaid model and gets quite a bit more range, over 100 miles more. And that is the same price they announced at Battery Day at $139,990. Some specific upgrades for the Plaid Plus version only include that quickest acceleration and quarter mile of any production car ever, 0 to 60, quarter mile, 1,100 plus horsepower, but then 3 high-performance drive units, carbon sleeved rotors, and torque vectoring. On the exterior, the paint colors have remained the same with the normal white, black, gray, blue, and red. But then for wheels, you can see there are 19-inch Tempest wheels, but then for an extra $4,500, they have these 21-inch wheels. So I showed you the features of the new interior, which looks to be awesome, and overall, I think the white interior kind of has the best look personally, but they also sell the black interior. The white interior is the extra $2,000, and then they sell a cream interior for an extra $2,000. But the Model X also added a few features that the Model S does not have because it's a larger vehicle. First off, their configurations are also different. There's the long-range version at $89,990, a 3.8 second 0 to 60, top speed of 155, and a range of 360 miles. But then they are now selling a Plaid version, coming in at $119,990, a 2.5 second 0 to 60, a top speed of 163 miles per hour, and a range of 341 miles. So essentially, Plaid is replacing performance for these cars. For Model X wheels, it is the 20-inch Cyberstream wheels, and then the 22-inch turbine wheels for an extra $5,500. The interior, again, is the same as the Model S, which makes a lot of sense, just with some slight additions because of the longer windshield and all that, because the exterior has remained largely unchanged. There is black, white, and cream, but there is also an option for which seating layout you would want, and there is 5-seater, 6-seater, or 7-seater. So you can see an overhead view of what all of these look like right here. So the 5-seater is like you would expect with a lot of trunk space. The 6-seater adds 2 in the back, but then has a pass-through in the middle, and then the 7-seater keeps the 5-seater and then just adds 2 in the back, kind of similar to what they're doing with the Model Y now. The Model X also has all of the same features as the Model S, including yoke steering, but I imagine that some people who just want to buy an SUV are going to be a little annoyed at this steering wheel, that it can't just be a normal steering wheel, it's a yoke steering wheel. So this announcement came right at market close, right around 1 p.m. or slightly after, when Tesla actually announced the letter and put it up on their website of their earnings. In that letter, they said, quote, "In Berlin and Austin, we remain on track to start vehicle production this year with structural batteries leveraging in-house battery cells. Our engineering team has made significant progress on full self-driving software with a limited release to customers. Finally, we are excited to ramp the updated Model S and Model X and deliver our first Tesla Semi by the end of the year." And it also mentions those cars at the bottom of operations, saying updated Model S and Model X launched in January of 2021. So this refresh is in some ways less drastic than I expected, and in some ways more drastic than I expected. I wouldn't have been surprised if the interior of the Model S stayed largely the same, but just changed to a horizontal display and updated a couple things here and there, but instead they went all in on this refresh for the interior. It looks like an entirely different vehicle inside, using Tesla's design language and taking stuff from the Model 3 and the Model Y. I'm curious though, what is your opinion on the new steering wheel? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I know for me, I can't wait to try it, but I can't imagine that I would like it that much in practice for normal drives, but time will tell and I'd love to try it out. One important thing to note from the letter that relates to the new Model S and the Model X is that Tesla says their capacity of these cars is at 100,000 per year, and that is their production capacity of both of these cars at Fremont, and then they also have a production capacity of 500,000 for the Model 3 and Model Y, as well as 450,000 of those two cars from Shanghai. So going forward into this year, they have a production capacity of over 1 million cars, and they delivered just about 500,000 last year. So next year could be a huge year for Tesla, and I imagine the Model S and X refresh only boosting those sales of those cars. I've talked about this before, but of course the Model S and X sell less than the Model 3 and the Model Y do. They're much more expensive cars in general, but to me, I think sales were being a little affected by the interior. If we look at Q4 deliveries, they delivered about 18,966 Model S's and X's versus 161,701 Model 3s and Ys. So going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Model S and X number greatly increase, and they're able to produce about 100,000 of these according to their report. The earnings call itself is scheduled for 3:30, and that is where we'll get answers to a lot of questions from Elon himself, so I'm sure we'll have tons of stuff to speculate and talk about into the future. All in all, I am super excited about this new Model S and X. I don't entirely mind that they didn't change the exterior, because the interior changed enough for me to like it. I still wish they went with a new design of the Model S to make it stand out, so you could say, like, this is the 2021 Model S and the 2021 Model X, but that is a whole other complicated process, and with Tesla trying to get their vehicles cheaper and cheaper, it makes sense that they would just refresh the interior. I've talked about this refresh for a while, and I thought that this was the time it was actually coming, so I'm incredibly excited to see that I was actually right. Again, here is the exterior of the Model S and those new wheels. We have the paint colors. We have that new interior with the awesome looking horizontal display and the very awesome looking steering wheel as well. Again, I'm curious to see what that's like in practice. And then we have the new rear screen in the rear, as well as new seating configurations for the Model X. And again, noise canceling has been added to the interior of these cars. So overall, although this refresh wasn't quite as drastic as I was hoping, it's still great, and I think they added enough premium features to really boost sales of the Model S and X and make it an exciting car again for people to buy. But what are your thoughts? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this new Model S and X design from Tesla. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to this channel, make sure to like this video if you appreciated it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.